You can't tell me that Adam Driver didn't get this role at least partially because of his name. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. Today I'm going to be talking about the 2023 biographical sports drama Ferrari, which will release in theaters on December 25th. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. All my reviews include a breakdown of the pros and cons, my rating, and some tailored film recommendations, so be sure to watch through to the end of this video for all of that extra content. Ferrari stars Adam Driver, Penélope Cruz, and Shailene Woodley, and was directed by Mann. Based on Brock Yates' 1991 biography of Enzo Ferrari, it tells the story of Ferrari's personal and professional struggles during 1957. For whatever reason, movies often seem to come in groups, little bursts of similar films. You've got examples of twin movies like Armageddon and Deep Impact, or A Bug's Life and Ants, but there are also examples of conceptual popularity surges, like we're currently seeing with both whodunits and multiverse stories. Now, I realize the specific situation I'm talking about today involves only two films that are a few years apart, though that can mostly be attributed to world events. But it certainly feels like we've been getting a lot of Ferrari-related movies lately. I'll admit to not being much of a car person or that big of a racing fan, but I do like a good biopic. And the other recent Ferrari film, Ford v Ferrari, really took me by surprise, so I was looking forward to this film a little more than I otherwise would have been. Plus, this is a movie Mann's been trying to get made since 2000, and is the first film he's directed in 8 years, so understandably, I've had my eye on this one for a while. I know it's a tall order, but my advice to anybody going to see this movie is to try to put Ford v Ferrari as far out of your head as possible, because if you find yourself mentally comparing the two films, it's gonna somewhat unfairly diminish your enjoyment of this one. They're both biographical dramas involving Ferrari and racing, but the focus and approach of these two stories couldn't be more different. Ferrari's based on the 1991 biography of Enzo Ferrari, and as a result, this movie is much more of a biopic than it is a racing movie. There is some racing here, but it's not the focus. Instead, this film really centers around Enzo Ferrari and the personal and professional drama he experiences during 1957, with special emphasis on his tumultuous relationships. Between Enzo Ferrari's haunted past, the financial struggles of his company, and the interpersonal strife involving both his wife and his mistress, there's a lot of converging drama in this film. But there's something strangely bland and lifeless about it all. Ferrari's life story no doubt could have yielded something interesting, but the script did it no favors. The overly broad brushstrokes and glacial pace make it difficult to find anything to latch onto or become invested in. Penélope Cruz gives a crackling, passionate performance as Laura Ferrari and manages to make the drama almost compelling at times, but she's not given nearly enough to be able to shoulder the entire film alone. Adam Driver's performance is decent, and he does disappear into the role, apart from the accent, but the subdued nature of his character makes it difficult to form enough of an emotional attachment to care about him or the problems he faces throughout the movie. This is the kind of film that could have easily fallen into bland, forgettable territory, but the racing components managed to salvage it some. Like I said earlier, this film isn't really a racing movie, but nestled in between Ferrari's business and personal drama, there is a racing subplot, as his team prepares for the 1957 Mille Miglia, an annual 1,000-mile open road race across Italy. This subplot is a relatively small component of the film, but the racing sequences are genuinely captivating. There are a lot of on-car camera shots that put the audience right in the vibrating, barely in control action of the high-speed races. It's exhilarating, but almost always leaves you feeling as though something's about to go very badly at any moment. So it's more of a stressful, heart-pounding exhilaration than a fun one. Ferrari is an okay film, but one that I think missed the mark on almost all fronts. As a biopic about Enzo Ferrari, it's a slow, insipid trek, bogged down in marital drama without providing the audience with anything to grab onto emotionally. As a sports drama, there just isn't enough focus on racing or the build-up to the Mille Miglia. The race itself is exciting, but the film doesn't encourage much investment in the outcome of the race or in Ferrari's team of drivers. The third act offers some surprising shocks that get the pulse going and help push things through to the end of the movie, so I'd certainly suggest avoiding doing any research about the events of the story beforehand, but I don't think these moments are enough to make up for the slow, emotionally empty 2 hours that come before. Ferrari is fine as a way to kill a couple hours, but it just doesn't reach the lofty heights it was clearly shooting for. It's not a DNF, but it doesn't come close to placing either. Alright, let's talk about the pros and cons. Pro number one has got to be the racing sequences. Despite being about Ferrari, this isn't really a movie about racing, so the racing sequences are comparatively few and far between. But what we do get is exciting. There are some tense testing and training sequences early on, but where the film really shines is with its portrayal of the Mille Miglia race. It's broken up by dramatic scenes, but the stretches of extended racing are exhilarating, with the camera often fastened right onto the car, giving us a vibrating first-hand look at the speed and danger. There is some distractingly poor CGI, with a seemingly uncalibrated ragdoll physics engine during the various crashes that occur throughout the film, but those shots are brief enough that most viewers will probably be able to look past them. The second pro is Penélope Cruz's performance. This is a film that spends a lot of time on interpersonal drama, especially between Enzo Ferrari and the women in his life. Cruz plays Enzo's wife, Laura, and despite the listless nature of the story, she manages to inject a lot of passion and energy and fire into the role. Her fierce performance is the only glimmer of true emotion in this story, and all of the best non-racing scenes belong to her. On the con side, the biggest issue is the pacing. This is an exceptionally slow movie that manages to feel quite a bit longer than it actually is. Now, I understand that a relationship and business-centric biopic wasn't necessarily going to be the most energetic of stories, but the way it was written and edited really accentuated the dragging feel. The racing sequences were exciting and mostly well-paced on their own, but it was the insertion of those scenes within the larger story that didn't work so well. Somewhat related to this is con number two, the script. I'm not really sure exactly what went wrong here. If it was the decision to focus on the more commonplace aspects of Ferrari's life, like the trite relationship drama, if it was the mostly insipid exploration of that drama, there's just something about it that doesn't work. At no point in the story do you feel connected to these characters. It never presents them in a way that makes you get invested in them. Not in Enzo, not in his mistress, not in any of his drivers, and barely in his wife. It feels strangely empty. The bones and structure of it's all there, but there's nothing of any emotional substance to fill it or leave a lasting impression. Before I give you my rating and recommendations, I want to remind you that if you're interested in buying Ferrari or any of the other films I mentioned today, I do have affiliate links for all of them in the description below. I get a small commission from anything you buy using one of my links, so I'd really appreciate it if you'd use them if you're in the market for any of these movies. I'm gonna give Ferrari 3 out of 5 paws. It offers some exhilarating racing sequences and a passionate performance by Penélope Cruz, but the slow pace and emotionally lacking story prevent this film from crossing the finish line. I would recommend Ferrari to fans of Ferrari, the car manufacturer. If you'd like some insight into Enzo Ferrari's personal life and business struggles, this might give you the fictionalized biography you want to see. But if you're looking for an exciting racing movie, this film's fairly limited in that regard. If you liked Ferrari, I would recommend Ford v Ferrari. The Ferrari connection might make this a bit of an obvious suggestion, but this is a film that manages to be both an exciting sports drama and a compelling human drama at the same time. If you liked Adam Driver's performance here, you might want to check out House of Gucci. This is another film in which he plays a real-life, high-profile Italian businessman, once again in a very tumultuous relationship. Plus, this is another movie with some questionable Italian accents. And if you're interested in another racing movie, but still want some off-road drama, you should check out Grand Prix. This 1966 film focuses on a set of Formula One racers as they try to balance their professional and personal lives. There's plenty of relationship drama between the races, and of course, the Ferrari racing team features prominently. Alright, a couple questions for you guys. Number 1, have you seen Ferrari? If so, what did you think of it? And number 2, What's your favorite Michael Mann movie? Be sure to leave your answers in the comments below so we can get a discussion going. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this review, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe or add it to see more videos like this. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainely Movies, the way life should be.